Hi, this is Mike Sims, and welcome back to the Think Your Reality podcast. This is episode 89. Basically, what I'm doing here, it's just random ideas that I had jotted down on helping you create your life. I wanted to share them with you. There's no theme through this podcast, as I've done in past episodes. My hope is that any one of these remarks will spark something in you and be a blessing to you on your road to success. As this is also broadcast on our YouTube channel, please leave me a comment below. Like and subscribe if you would, and let me know what it is I can do to help you. Let me know what obstacles are in front of you. I think collectively between the two of us, we can work together even through email and find a way to get you past that and further along your road. Fair enough? Okay. So according to the Webster Dictionary, vision is defined as the act of power of imagination. Let me read it to you again because I was fascinated when I saw this. It's the act of power of imagination. So Webster's dictionary is saying your imagination has power. I want you to really contemplate that over the next few days and come to terms with it, that you have an imagination and is carrying for you some of the greatest things that you have yet to accomplish in your life. So if that's true, does it mean no vision, blind life? Blindly going through life without a defined destination is on par with getting into an Uber or a taxi and saying to the driver, take me wherever you like. That's dangerous, and it's dangerous for your life as well. Find your vision. Find your direction. I will help you in any way I can. Again, comment below. Let me know what I can do for you. Let's get you started and get you further down that road, shall we? So the disconnect between should matter and does matter. The further disconnect of those that have a vision for you and want to, for some reason, impose that will on you. Maybe it should matter to you, but does it matter to you? And if it doesn't, you've made the decision that you go in another direction. Look at the end and start where you are. And sometimes you're going to enjoy the mental field trip to your goals during your downtime. Remember, what we focus on, we begin to manifest. So spend a lot of mental time thinking about it and draw it closer to you. From your mind to your mission. It all begins in your thought process. Your thought process. No one can control your thoughts. No one can control your actions other than you. If you're not controlling them, I'd have to ask you why. The other is, when will you start? It belongs to you. You're responsible for it. Make it work to your advantage. Mend the mind and align the mind. Come to terms with the jobs that you've had in the past and see what, if anything, they offered you into your own insight and definition of yourself. For me personally, my own story started back when I was late teenager. I was 19, and I became a radio announcer. My thought process was that I was going to be a professional disc jockey for my career. I really thought so. Didn't happen. And it's just as well because I love talking, and now I'm talking for a purpose instead of just for entertainment purposes. I was also a television editor. I was a communications major in college. And as a TV editor, I use those skills, both of them, now to edit this podcast and hosting it. And it's what I love to do. I haven't generated dime one, and I'm not asking you for money. I'm asking you for the opportunity to let me help you. The money will come. I'm not concerned about that. My concern is this being where I belong in my life, and I want to help you get to where you belong in your life. When you know who you are and what you are, you have taken root in this journey we call life. Those that have this can weather any storm life begins, because when you have that direction, that self-motivated direction, and you know in your heart of hearts that it's where you belong, distractions will come, obstacles will come. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. You know where you're going, and nothing is going to distract you from it because you have committed yourself to knowing what you want most out of life. I've had people say I'm a motivational speaker. I'm more in line, I think, with a life coach. I mean, what would be stronger source of motivation, internal or external? The external often is someone attempting to put you in the box they feel you belong. The internal is self-directed and is the only, and therefore the strongest, source of motivation. I cannot tell you, nor should I tell you, what to do with your life. Who am I to do that? If you were to share with me your ideas and thoughts, I can formulate a way to guide you to its creation. That would give me great satisfaction. And I'd be happy to sign a non-disclosure to you to ensure that your intellectual property, your idea, is being protected. My life's goal is to encourage the internal to take the steps and to continue in the course I believe you should be on, and with being about the absolute best version of you. That is, in fact, where the greatest joy, professionally, I'm not talking about personally with relationships and family and friends, but that is where the most joy professionally comes from. It's where you contribute back to the world. It's where you give more of yourself. And to that, I'm quoting the great Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Now, what I want to add to is you lose yourself in the service of others with the God-given gifts you have. And again, the podcast is about you helping find them and cultivate them and bring them to reality. We think our reality. You've heard me say that countless times. This podcast, as of this episode, as I said before, has not generated dime one. I spend the bulk of my time writing and researching its contents. Why? Because it's where I belong. It's the thing that I've done for most of my life and every job I ever had, where I'd go back and look, and I got the most joy out of counseling people and guiding them to making better choices because they would tell me they were unhappy where they were. Will the income come to me? Someday. Right now, money aside, it's what brings me the most professional satisfaction I have ever had. There's a sign on my home wall. If you don't believe it, why should they? They, meaning you. Positive thinking, a skill I learned as a real estate broker, and the 180-degree theory about doing that which most people wouldn't do. And that's where the changes come from. I don't want to be part of the masses. I don't believe you want to be part of the masses. I don't want to be an also-ran. I'm running my life. I want you to run yours. And I want you to run yours like you've never run it before. And to enjoy what those decisions and pitfalls and obstacles will bring to you. Reflecting on what matters most to you can give you great insight into who and what you are. I have 3 what questions for you. First one, what are you good at? Everyone is good at something. I've had friends, relatives that I saw that skill in them, and they ran with it and made a career out of it. My older brother being one of them. As I said in a previous podcast, he was obsessed with flight when we were kids, and he became an air traffic controller, and he got that skill set by being in the Army. He did what he had to do to get that skill set. And I've got to tell you something. I love my brother Sean, but the fact of the matter is he was more of a guy that would get up at the crack of noon, not at 4 o'clock in the morning with somebody yelling at him. And I applaud him for getting what he wanted and taking the steps necessary. The second one, what have you done that gave you a skill that can be used for a cause? If you really reflect on your past, it gives you great insight as to where your future's going. The third one, what do you care about in your world? What is it the thing you'd like to change? What is it the thing you'd love to get involved in? And to have the joy of being involved in something that is just meaningful to you. Ultimately, what we were talking about in this podcast is changing your section of the world. If we can get enough people doing that, look at the difference we can make. And again, as I've said before, you living your best life, people are watching what you're doing, and they're taking cues from you, and you living your best life multiplies you in the way that it gives other people license, the courage to go out and emulate you and to do what they believe they should do to have your kind of life, if that makes sense. Not belonging in your career or line of work often leads to discontentment in life, potentially affects your relationships, your health, and your mental well-being. So I ask you, I implore you, I plead with you to continue the search of running through your mind where it is you know you believe to be, and make it work to your advantage because the world needs it. My name is Mike Sims. This is the Think Your Reality podcast. And as always, I wish you an absolutely awesome day, as I know you deserve nothing less.